know not only we don't have Nigerians, only Nigerians here. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. How you guys doing this evening now? I hope everyone is fine. Yeah, it's good to be here once again. It's good. It's good to be here once again. All right. Let's wait few minutes for uh
Who they wait few minutes for? Me, they wait for you since.
why
I did drive like mad person make I reach house, and you came late.
I'm sorry, like my laptop was hanging. God, like my laptop was dealing with me so mad. So I had to start restarting and the thing can't even they hang self. Sorry I had to speak pidgin. Sorry guys. It was
Oh,
not hanging,
sorry, there
so
are other nationalities here. Wow.
it was frustrating.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was frustrating really actually. All right, so nice to be here, guys. Tonight we'll be having our event. It's Career Talk with DP. It's actually a monthly event, and God so good. This session will be our first session, right? Like February edition will be our
Yay.
very first session. Yeah, 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 yeah. And Jude is actually launching that with us, so you should do giveaway, Sha.
Ah, ah.
You should do giveaway. You should give. All right. Okay. So let me introduce him. Jude. His name is Murphy, but he's well known as Jude because I would say he's a babalawo, right? So I think that's the name. That's what babalawo call themselves. But actually, he's a seasoned. Yeah, make I no cover my teeth. He's a seasoned designer, a professional. Not just a professional, he's an amazing product designer and a illustrator. He's someone that I actually admired even before I met him. Yeah, before I met him, right, I've always admired his work right from afar. And trust me, guys, when I tell you, if I tell you that this person is actually a gangster in design, not just a great designer, but is a gangster in design. And to have him here is a privilege. Yeah, to have him speak to us tonight is a privilege. And I can't wait to learn from him. I can't wait to hear his story and what he have for us tonight. So allow me to welcome my boss. I call him my boss. I mean, that's what I call him. So I call him my boss because he is a senior designer. So I'm still like a baby to him. So allow me to welcome my boss and my friend in design, Jude. Yes, so he will be talking to us tonight on diverse paths to design. So I'm sure you guys are ready. You're ready to learn. You're ready to take home some points and some life changing notes. So yeah, Jude. So you have the floor now. All right, Jude. You are actually free to talk to us
Okay.
now.
Finally. Yes, thank you for that introduction.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. My name is Murphy. A lot of people know me as Dreads. I got the name from I think at another age in life. I'm getting old. I like saying I'm getting old. When I was younger, I was a big reader of mythology and folklore, and that's where I first encountered the tribe Druids. Then I watched Merlin, then Murder of the Druids. Apparently, Merlin is a Druid, so I thought I liked the name. So I'm just giving a quick origin story. So back in 2017, 2016, I joined this platform called Steamit. Right. So I was trying to sign up on the platform. I entered Murphy. Murphy was taken. Entered Murphy 01, it was taken. Murphy 10, it was taken. I don't know, it seems there are a lot of Murphy in this world. Entered Druid, DRUID, it was taken. So I did an S2 Druids and it was available. And that was how I got that name. Right. So I was in Steamit for a while. A lot of people on Steamit knew me by that name and sort of just stuck. So that's how I got my name. I've been designing for a while. I'm a very boring person, right? I get bored very easily. So I've mostly been pursuing my interest when it comes to whatever I'm doing, be it design, be it games, whatever I'm doing, right? So I do a lot of designs actually. I do a lot of brand design. I don't post my brand design because I'm not very confident when doing it, but the clients, they always seem to love the work. I did a lot of UI design, I did a lot of game design. Back in 2019, I used to do motion design with After Effects. I did interaction design. I do 3D with Blender. Which other design am I missing? Hey, I'm missing like two. I know I used to do a lot of design, right? But I sort of touched all the different niches of design. Um, like I said, it's mostly just pushing interest. Whatever I'm learning this month or this year will mostly be something I'm interested in. And I found that very early that for you to earn the most money, you have to be a specialist. Generally, they tend to get a lot of work. You get a lot of work, right? As a journalist, a client can say, I want to do a fintech app, you do that today. They can come tomorrow and say, I want to do a healthcare app, you do that today. They can come and say, I want to design a SaaS product where you do that today. But when you're a generalist, you get a lot of work. But as a specialist, you actually get to charge more because back in 2018, I was supposed to see a neurologist, but for some weird reason, finding a neurologist was very hard. And when you see them, they charge you way more than a general practitioner would charge you, right? And I wanted to be in that position of being scarce and very expensive. So I was basically just trying out different parts of design till I found the one I liked the most, which actually product design. I think 3D is sort of replacing product design in my life. I like doing 3D stuff, be it environments. I'm not a character, but I don't think I want to do characters. I'm a big fan of weapon props, guns, swords, spears, bow, arrow. Right, I'm a big fan of weapon
Close,
props.
close this way.
Somebody speaking.
But I will
Okay, I think the person just joined and
check
person
that
is
place.
muted. The person is then muted. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I saw a tweet, I think 2 days ago or yesterday, right, where somebody said design was not enough. And ideally, I would not reply or quote those kind of tweets. I would just ignore them. But it touched me because I actually know that design is more than enough, right? You can make a living, you can have your dream lifestyle, build your dream home, give your family, if you are from the trenches, you can give your family the dream lifestyle they want by just being a designer. I used to tell my mentees that if you are coming from the trenches and you want to lift yourself from poverty, you want a better lifestyle, focus on design for 1 year, right? Focus on design in the right way. Don't do average or substandard design. Do very good design, right? Get a very good roadmap on how to learn design and focus on it for 1 year because you can spend 1 year doing the wrong thing. But if you focus on design the right way for 1 year, there is just no way you will not make money in your second year, right? Because the demand for designers right now, businesses now know the value of design. So the demand for designers right now is actually very high. So if you are a very good designer, you can actually okay 1 year, 1 year you can get work. But if you spend 2, 3, 4, 5 years as a very good designer, and probably along the way become a specialist or you still remain a generalist, you can actually charge very good money as a designer. Very good. We are talking tens of thousands of dollars. I have a friend that did the contract. It's around 25K they paid him, and that's just design. He was not building anything. That was just design. Right, so there's plenty more. If you convert that to naira, that's almost around 12.8, 13 million ish naira, and that's enough for you to buy one very fine Benz. I'm a big fan of Mercedes. Okay, yeah. So let's dive into it. Different parts you can take as a designer. So there's a lot of parts. I think my first encounter of design was graphics design. This people that do photo manipulation in Photoshop. I want to say illustrations, but illustrators will drag my neck and say illustration is not part of graphic design, right? But let's start with graphics. So graphics design, photo manipulation. I don't really know much about graphic design. I didn't do it much. Then there's illustrations, right? Illustrations can be 2D, can be pixel, it can be 3D. ideally, when you are learning any of these different design parts, the way I learn is I look for what has demand in the market, because I don't want to learn a skill I would never use. I think I was caught in that learning trap at an early stage in my career where I was just learning and learning and learning. I was knowing new things, but for some reason I was not making money from them. So before I learn any new thing, I usually want to know if there's demand for it. So most times I go to these job websites, check out the roles that are open. You see a lot of product design role when it comes to Web3, when it comes to traditional tech, a lot of product design roles, right? There's a lot of demand for good product designers. But I really see a lot of graphic design roles compared to products. So when you want to learn, you usually want to learn something that you enjoy and there's demand for your skill. I think there's a time I was actually doing Flutter. I was learning how to write code, write Flutter, write code with that to build Flutter apps. I was the time I was doing Flutter. At the time I was doing WordPress. I was making good money using WordPress because there was demand for it at the time I was learning it. Right, so whatever design path you're going to take, you want to make sure that there's a demand for your skill set. Right? That way you don't end up learning a skill set that you're probably not going to use. Then maybe when you come on Twitter, you see me start saying, go and start learning XR, AR, or VR design, and you jump into it. So, because if you don't have this framework for how to learn, so the way I learn is I'll check is there demand for it. I learn until I make money with that skill set. I don't learn a different skill set. Right? So that way I'm conditioning myself to make sure whatever I'm learning, I must make money from it. Until I make money from it, I don't move to learn anything. Right? So that ideally that's how I learn. So that way I'm not caught in that learning loop of learning and learning and learning and learning and learning and still be in the trenches. Okay, so like I said, there are different design paths. You can choose to be a generalist and do everything, right? Or you can choose to be a specialist and focus on one thing that has a very high demand but very low supply. Right? We'll get to that. So you can be a graphics designer. You can be a digital illustrator. Digital illustrator do a lot of things. They design books for children. They design character illustrations. They design environments. They design, what did they design again? Well, they design a lot of things, right? They didn't just illustrate your ideas and bring them to life. Then we have product designers, which is I think most of you are product designers or junior product designers. And you have product designers, right? They design a lot of things, and product can be anything. Product can be a game. Product can be a mobile app. It can be a website. It can be a web app. It can be a process. So product can be anything. So in terms of product design, you can actually split them into 2 or 3, right, and focus on one. I tell somebody you can actually make a career as just a UI designer. You don't have to be very in depth when it comes to UX. Right? You can make a career as just designing interactions or applications. So inside this product, you can actually specialize for that and say, this is all I want to be doing for the rest of my career. Right? So if you say I want to be a UI designer for the rest of my career, I don't want to do UX, I hate UX, I hate research, I hate doing this. Right? You can be a UI designer. Then even inside that UI designer, you can even specialize down further and say, I want to be designing just UI for fintech. I want to be designing just UI for games. I want to be designing just UI for mobile apps, designing just UI for websites. Right? Or you can choose to say, I want to just be a system designer. The reason I say system designer, ideally I would say design system designer, but there's too much design in that statement. So ideally you can just specialize and say, this is what I want to be doing for the rest of my career. I want to be creating design systems. Right. So you can choose to take the general approach to it or specialize down till you are the only person or you're in the top 1% of people that can do a particular thing in the whole world. So ideally you want to be known for one thing, but you can do a lot of things. Most people know me. I think when I started, they knew me as a game designer. Then later they knew me as a design system or a system designer. Then right now, they know me as a Web3 designer. But first, you want to be known for one thing. The idea behind being known for one thing is if I'm thinking of who to build a design system for me, or rather, who to design a design system for me, right? Your name or probably if 5 names comes to mind, your name, you want yourself to be one of those 5. If you mention design system now in Nigeria, I'm sure my name will probably be top 3, and I'm sure I'm not number 3, right? Same for Web3 design. So, which is why I'm big on the idea of specializing. If I want somebody to probably build out a website for me or build out a product for me, I'll most likely reach out to Sheyi or reach out to Cadet, right? Because I know they are very good at building websites. if I want to build an app or do a blockchain-ish development, I have a friend that I want to reach out to, right? Because they are known for one thing, but they can do a lot of things, which is why I'm always preaching specializing. But before you specialize, well, you want to generalize first to find what you like. Like I mentioned, I did all the different designs when I was coming up. Then I decided that, oh, this is the one for me. This is where I want to focus on. Then when I've made money with the one I want to focus on, then I may start pursuing my interest. Okay, sorry. I'm just going off path. So first, graphics, illustration, products, 3D. Right? 3D can be anything. 3D can, ideally, when you are working in large teams, you usually have a 2D digital illustrator that can illustrate what you want to do in 3D. So 3D can be a lot of things, right? You can be a generalist 3D designer that you do everything, but it's not going to be easy. But for 3D, you can design characters, you can design apparel or clothes, you can design environments, you can design props for environments, you can design weapon props. What else can you design again? But I think some are leaving me, but there's a lot of things you can do as a 3D designer. Then there are people they call sound designer. So if you're designing a game, we mostly see them in games or website. If you're designing a game or website, when you click a button, there's a sound it makes. When you transition to a different scene, there's a sound it makes. Well, they are those kind of designers. We call them sound designers. Which other designer am I missing again? There are people they call game designers, right? They are mostly designing games, but the game designer is a very broad term because when you're building a AAA game, you can be a UI game designer. You can be creating a design system for your game. You can be designing characters or environment. You can be designing the game mechanics. You can be designing the storyline, or you can be designing the economy of the game. Right? So for each field, they're usually broken down into segments, right? So you don't have to literally learn everything about how a game is being built, or you don't have to be the only designer designing a game, right? So when you're actually designing a standard game, you're usually working as a specialist because you have other people doing different things so the game can meet a certain deadline. Then which other designer am I missing again? I think I'm missing some designers. Oh, they are brand designers, right? They are brand designers. So what do brand designers do? Well, they design brands. I don't know much about them. I want to say I'm a brand designer, but I'm mostly just doing logo, deciding your color palette, deciding the tone of the brand and all that. But I think it's more deeper than that. When you meet an actual brand designer, they'll tell you it's more deeper than that. Then there are motion designers. They do a lot of motion teams, videos. I think I've seen them mostly do videos, but like I said, it's usually deeper than that. I'm not a big specialist in that field, so I can't speak much when it comes to motion designing. Then the interaction designers, those interactions is still okay. There are people that all they do, right? All they do is both interactions, be it Figma, prototype, be it designing interactions in Prototype, designing interactions in Framer, or designing interactions in Rive. Right? But that's all they do is just design interactions for. So you are done designing the UI. It's their job to do the interactions for it. It's their job to export. If the software doesn't support that, it's their job to export those interactions as code that the devs can use to implement that. Right. So yeah, so we have these different ish type of designers, and most times they're usually intersecting. Like if you're a product and you're a 3D designer, the logical path for you to take ideally would be a game design, right? Either design game or you design GL products. All right, a good. Can I share my screen? Can I? Oh, I can.
Sure. You can share your screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can.
Oh yeah. This is why I started learning 3D. Let me virtual. Okay. Yeah, this is why I started learning 3D. I saw this website and I was like, how do I do this? This is not your usual UI. And I'm big on. I'm coming. Let me think I'll rather show you guys. I'm big on doing things that are very unusual. But no, that's if I share that, that'll be too wide. Okay, coming. I'm using a 49-inch monitor, and if I decide to share the entire screen, it's going to be too wide on your end. Okay, Chrome tab. No, window, Chrome. Yeah, it should work. Okay, yeah. So this is why I started learning 3D, right? I saw this website for the first time. I think that was last year, and I fell in love. I think falling in love is even an understatement. The light load. This is a WebGL design. Yes, this is it. I don't like designing what everybody is designing, and I want to go extra. And for me to go extra, I need to know how to do 3D and render this 3D on the web. So this is actually very interactive, right? I can actually see what is in here, right? Then you get more info about that environment. I can go to the main town opportunity district. Yeah, so this is kind of shit I want to be doing, right? These are the kind of designs I want to do. Yeah, and for me to be able to do this, I have to know how to design products. I also know how to design 3D environments. Then when you're done designing the product and the 3D environment, then you send it to the dev and they'll render this on the web using WebGL frameworks. Right. So these are the kind of things I want to do. Right. So most of the skill sets, so the way I learn is I learn things that how do they say it? Vertical. I don't know the phrase they use for it, right? But I learn things that sort of intersect, right? If I'm learning products, I'm learning 3D, I don't want to do a game. The next thing I usually learn is sound, right? So I do sound design using what are the software using for sound design? Oh, it's skipping me. It's on my rig. Well, I do sound design, right? I don't do motion. I'm afraid of motion design. After Effects nearly took my life back in the day, and I still have PTSD. So yeah, there are a lot of things you can do as a designer, and those are like the parts that come to mind when it comes to the device part you can take as a designer in the space. Then right now, there's this big wave around Web3 designers, right? Web3 designers are basically just product designers or game designers or whatever designer you are. But right now, you're mostly designing um, blockchain products, right? So when you hear Web3 designers, that's usually what they mean. It's not something very complicated. Right? So if you're mostly designing blockchain products, you usually be called a Web3 designers. And right now, there's too much opportunities for Web3 design. There's too much opportunity that if you are very good at what you do, you can charge the amount you want to charge, and you can also make shakara, right? So if you're looking for Web3 job and probably you're here in a very good designer, you usually come to cryptocurrencyjobs.co/design. Yeah. So yeah, so yeah, a lot of jobs for them. You usually see, like I mentioned, most of the jobs you see are usually product design roles. Then scarcely you see motion graphics, you see graphics, right? But it's mostly scarce compared to product. So if we go through this entire list, you'll probably see 40 product design role and maybe 6 other niches of design. Right, so if you're learning product right now, you're on the right path. So yeah, there are a lot of design roles, and the pay is actually very good. Uh, it's around 130 to 200K yearly. This 30 to 70K. It's small, but I think it might be big for some people. This 220K. Yeah, this is actually very good. I saw one last year. I think it was around 280, 300K for a senior product designer. Right. If you are, like I said, if you are very good at what you do and you're a niche designer, there's plenty of money in design. So I think that's it. Except their questions. That's it for me. Is Kemi
All
here?
right. Yeah, I'm here. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation and talk. All right. So I'm sure there are questions. We would now start taking questions. So if you have questions, just type it in the chat box. Choose
Oh,
the
which of the sites? Are you talking about the job site or you're talking about the 3D site? Oh, let me drop it in the chat. Oh, there are actually a lot. There, this is one. This is one of four I have in my head. So this is one. Is there? Then there is crypto job lists. There is crypto job list. Yeah, I think I also drop tips on how to get these jobs. There's crypto job list before it loads. Then there's uh, okay, I think there are questions. Okay, let me scroll down. Okay, there's one. I think Web3. Okay, yeah, Web3.career/design jobs. Yeah, country C, country B. There is, yeah, you can also get jobs on Behance. Behance.net. I've not uploaded my portfolio in a while. Okay. Where did I see jobs that day? Jobs, yeah. But like most of the jobs you see, they're usually no. I used to search. God forbid, not Nigeria. Give me worldwide. Right. You should go to worldwide. Yeah. Come in. Let me filter. UIX. Yeah. Yep, there's always a role. So this is how we fit if you're on Behance and your portfolio is clean. There's Pump Crypto Jobs, PUMP, Pump Crypto Jobs. Yep. Yeah. So like I said, if it is work, right, getting a job, right, you will not run out of job anytime soon. There's just too many work. Right. I have so many opportunities coming at me. I have very little time. Okay, so yeah, there's also NJ.co, NJ.co, but you have to filter there, right? Slash jobs. There's also NJ.co, right? So then you just filter to match whatever you're looking for, bid game. Yeah, so there's a lot of work. Ideally, applying directly with these links. A lot of them may not call you back, which is why most of the people that have given gigs in the past, before you even apply for this role, if you don't have experience, well, on the role you will see Web3 experience is not important, but it's sort of it's important because if I, a Web3 designer, and probably 10 other Web3 designers apply for the same role, right, and you apply for the same role, they may say it's not important, but if they see a Web3 oriented portfolio, well, they're obviously going to take that person because that person sort of have experience building something similar to what they are building, right? Because they don't want to spend time onboarding you and teaching you how most of these mechanics work for different Web3 products, right? They may say it's not important, but ideally you would want to do that. So most of the jobs I've gotten in the past, right, I've been very lucky to get interviews. Let's say I see a job, for example. Now, let me jump back to cryptocurrency. Yeah, let me jump back here. Let's say I want to apply for this role. Right. I'm usually looking for roles that are above 200K. I want to work less and earn more money. Yeah, so this is above 200K. Yeah. No, let me check Phantom first. I know Phantom is a wallet. Let me see what they do. Phantom, crypto wallet is used by. Okay, yeah, good. Um, Apply now. Nope, I won't apply. I'll check the responsibilities. What should I be doing? Lead UX, can you strategic decision? I have a book on this, all these strategic decision and business-ish things. I think the name of that book is Business of Design. Can't remember. Come in. Let me see. Yeah, but if you want to have a seat at the table as a designer, that's what it's becoming. Yeah, it's a very important book. I think every designer should read. I think I have that bookmark somewhere. Please give me a minute. Favorites. Yes, Business Thinking for Design by Envision. So let me share a link. Yeah, so it's a book you must read. When you see most of these daily that's it, strategic decisions, big concept ideas, yeah, you need to read this book, right? Also allows you explain your design decision in a way that business leaders can understand. Yeah, business thinking for designers. Yeah, this is it. Let me just share a link. Control C and Control V. Yep. Yeah, so it's a very important book I think you should read. Yeah, what did I say in just yeah? So if I see a role like this, Phantom is a wallet. I've never done a wallet, for example. I've done a little wallet, yeah. But I've never done a wallet, and they are keen on making crypto UX more approachable. First idea that will come to mind, and this idea is coming to mind because I have experience, so it may be more difficult for you. But first idea that will come to mind will be how to improve this product, and from the responsibilities here, they want to make crypto UX more accessible. So my next case study would be improving. I'm coming. My next case study will be improving crypto wallet UX and accessibility. This will be my next case study before I apply for that role. Right. This would allow me to get to probably first or second stage of the interview. Sorry, I did not mean to search for this, but this is how the title for my next case study would look like. Right. So that way, if I apply for this job and the recruiters are reading it or the CEO or whoever is interviewing me is reading it, they'll be like, oh, this person has experience and sort of ties with where we are right now in terms of responsibility. Right. So if I can't come up with a case study fast enough, I'll check out the product and look for user flows I can improve. Then I'll do a case study around that. I'll do redesign around that before I apply for this role. Right. So it's one of the fastest way to get jobs, but it's actually very stressful. And if you're not a very fast designer, you may not be able to push this out before this role closes. But it's fine, right? Because the thing about jobs is if you don't recruit me, or the company you're interviewing for does not recruit you, and whatever you're presenting is very good, there are these competitors who want to put you to have a competitive advantage over this company, right? So even if you are not doing this just in time for them to, or just in time for you to apply for this role, right? Always do well to post it on Twitter or in LinkedIn or wherever you are more active, right? Tag these guys, even if they don't recruit you, like I mentioned, there are people that are going to reach out to you, right? Which is why I'm big on posting your job. I think I saw a question on imposter syndrome. We'll get to that. Which is why I'm always big on you posting whatever you're doing on Twitter. All the jobs I've gotten, all the jobs, or 80% of the jobs I've gotten has been on Twitter. 80%. And there's no month that goes by that I don't have 2 or 3, 4 contracts coming from Twitter. Right? If you see me, I've not posted anything in a while when it comes to design. Just now I have a lot of jobs. When I need work, that's when you see me start being active and I'm posting my designs on Twitter. I think the last game map I posted, I got 5 contracts from it. I declined 2 and I'm doing 3 right now. Right? So all the jobs I've gotten have been on Twitter, and it has mostly just been through posting things I know would appeal to the audience I'm looking for. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Let's see. I think there are a lot of questions. Yes, let's see. Okay, how do you get undistracted? How when you're learning these things? If I tell you I don't get distracted, that's a very big lie. Okay, so I get very distracted. I allow myself to get distracted. I play a lot of games. I'm usually gaming 8 4 hours. There are times when I game so much I forget I have to work. So I get distracted. But I have these I don't know if it's a word for it, but when I have something I need to do that is extremely important, I'm able to focus for 6 hours straight or 8 hours straight to get the job done. Right? Um, Ideally, you would want to look for your peak hours where you know that life will not happen. Ideally, my peak hours are at night. Nothing would happen around 12 to 6 a.m. There's nothing that want to happen. But you see, during the day, you can plan your whole day. Something must happen. There's always something that's going to come up that will mess up your schedule. So you usually look for your peak hours where you know that you'll be uninterrupted. Nobody's calling you to grind tomatoes. No, your boss is not calling you for a job. You're not going out to buy to buy for. Well, you're not doing anything now. Literally distract you at night. My peak hours are at night. There are people where I believe there are people that go to school. They have classes. There are people that work. You may not have as much time as I or people that are usually just at home and they don't have to leave the house. So if you don't have so much time, I would encourage you, don't stress yourself too much, because when you're working and you're tired, you're not putting out good work. You can just choose to design 1 hour a day or 2 hours a day. The idea is to be consistent, right? You can do 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day. If you know you have to go to work around 6 a.m. to get to the office by 7 or 8 a.m., and you probably sleep by 9 to 4, you can choose to just design from 4 to 5. Or if you're like me that takes an hour to boot, you can choose to design from 5 to 6 before you start getting ready for work. The idea is not to stretch yourself too thin, then you start burning out. Just find a peak hour. It can just be an hour or 2, but be consistent. Do it every day, 1 or 2 hours. Then the more you keep doing it for 1 or 2 hours, it gets to 3 hours, 4 hours. When I was at my prime, I used to design 16 hours a day. I was basically jobless and just eating food in my mother's house, and I was just working. So just be consistent. 1 or 2 hours a day if you are working. If you are not working and you have so much time on your hands, look for a time where you know that you're very active. I think first thing you have to do is look for your peak hours. Look for when you know that you're super energized, and once you get in your laptop, you do productive work. I know that during the day, there's nothing you can tell me. Even if I sit on my laptop from morning to evening, I'll just be looking at it. I'll look for it for 1 hour, watch anime, I'll play game. But I know from 11 to 4, 5 a.m., I'm very active. I'm mostly posting memes on WhatsApp, but I'm working. That's when I'm most productive. Right. So look for your peak hours, and hopefully that should solve your distraction problem. If it doesn't, but I don't know what the distraction is in this case. I don't know if it's being distracted in learning other things. I think I should have clarified if I started rambling. So I don't know if your distraction is being distracted when it comes to learning different things or sticking to one thing. So I think you want to clarify that for me. Okay, different thing, a product and a UI designer, UI UX designer. Even me, I don't know. Right? See, product designers, they are mostly focusing on business goals and how design can improve that. UI UX designer, they do a lot of things product designers do. Right? But there's this whole conversation around the difference between them. But often they are the same. most of the JDs you see, well, JDs are job descriptions. Most of the JDs you see, they are usually the same responsibilities. Right? I think the design community is always debating which is which and which has more responsibility. But the recruiters, they don't know that I want a UI designer, they want a UI/UX designer. I want a UX designer, they are usually looking for a product designer. Right? So one of the JDs you see, the job responsibilities for a product designer is very similar to the job responsibility for a UI/UX designer. But in terms of difference, I really don't know the difference between them much because all the JDs are usually the same. I want a product designer, give me a UI/UX designer, they're usually looking for the same person. Yes, how do we get materials to learn Web3 and where do we go for inspirations like Behance for Web3? Materials to learn Web3. First step, just Google. Am I still sharing my screen? Okay, yes, I am. First step, just Google Web3 onboarding. I'm actually building a platform to help you learn Web3 better. And that platform is called guildprotocol.io. Yeah, but first step, you can Google Web3 onboarding, then you just do most of, rather you get used to most of these terminologies, crypto, Bitcoin, all this nonsense. You can do most of these onboarding tasks. But what I'm basically building is a way to gamify this task in such a way that when you are learning, you are earning. So if you create a MetaMask wallet, we can reward you experience points and we can reward you token just for creating a MetaMask wallet, right? So we are gamifying this in such a way that when you're learning how to use Web3, we're paying you money to learn, right? But before it goes live, you can just come in here and let me drop this link, Ctrl C and Ctrl V. Okay. Inspirations for Web3. Oh, yeah, inspirations for Web3. Well, you want to look for where Web3 products are, right? So to learn Web3, you have to use Web3 products. So you come to coinmarketcap.com, coinmarketcap.com. You come to categories if you're looking for products to test categories. Then I like sorting alphabetically, right? So I just click on name. So I'll look for, if you want to build a music product that's built on the blockchain, I'll scroll down to music, right? I'll check out similar music products. Then I'll probably use them for inspiration. So this is how I get my inspiration when I'm doing Web3 sheets. So let me send that link to Ctrl C and I'm sorry, I like saying Ctrl C and Ctrl V a lot. And Ctrl V. Then if I don't know what I'm looking for on CoinMarketCap, I go to DappRadar. Yes. So dApps are decentralized apps, which are another way of seeing apps built on the blockchain, right? So I usually come here when I'm looking for games and NFT products, right? So DappRadar. Okay. Okay, so let me see. Which other question do I have? If you have a product design experience, you have to learn. Oh no, you don't have to learn this particular skill, right? You basically have to know how Web3 product works, right? Same for fintech. You have to know how they deposit and send money, how the onboarding looks like. So it's just the same design principle, right? The same design principle. You're just bringing it to a different industry. And when you get into that industry, you have to know most of the terminologies. You have to know how the current design pattern is in that industry, right? So that's actually, you don't need to learn how to design all over again. You don't even need to learn how to design again. You're just learning how to design for a new industry, right? Think of you live in the fintech industry and going to the oil and gas industry to design interfaces for drilling oil, right? You need to know how pressure work, what parameters they want to see first on the drilling dashboard, right? Those sort of things. So same thing for Web3. You need to know how the technologies work. What are the current user flows? Right? How do I improve this flow without breaking it? Right? So you don't need to really need to learn design from scratch. But if you are a new designer, I would always encourage you to do your traditional design first for normal web product or the usual mobile app and websites you'll see. Do those design first because the UX for Web3 is a little bit broken and you need to get used to what good user experience is from Web2 before coming to Web3, right? But that might sound like gatekeeping. It's up to you. You can just choose to dive straight into Web3 if that's your thing. Anyhow you choose to go about it, may the force be with you. When you say you need to make money to learn a new skill, oh, no, I did not say you need to make money to learn a new skill. I said you need to make money from the skill you are learning first before you start jumping to another thing. That way, you are self-disciplined in the sense that if I don't make money from design and probably have a tendency to prostitute around when it comes to learning things, if I don't make money from design first, I'm not jumping to the next thing, no matter how appealing it may sound. So if I don't make money from Web3, there's no way I can go to Web5 if it ever comes out. So I make sure I make money from game first before I switch into Web3. So that way I'm not just learning for learning's sake. I'm learning to monetize the skill. I don't think I usually learn for learning's sake. I usually like to monetize everything I know. So I'm saying make money from what you're learning first before you choose to jump to another skill set. Because the thing is, when you're on Twitter, on LinkedIn, you get distracted. You see a lot of new buzzwords, a lot of senior designers learning new things that usually do not concern you. If you don't know how to design, you have no business with design system at that stage in your career. So when you've started making money being a product designer and you say, okay, I want to start creating style guide or design system, right? Make sure you're making money from what you are doing first before you move ahead. Right? That way you self-discipline yourself not to spend a lot of time doing things that you may never use. I did illustration back in the day, but right now I'm not doing illustration for anything. Usually have illustrators, or I just buy illustration sets. I learned Flutter back in the day, but I'm not even using Flutter for anything. I wasted 2 or 3 months learning Flutter. That would have been time better spent focusing or getting deeper expertise as a designer. All right. So I'm not saying you need money to learn. Well, there are some skills you need money to learn, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you have to make money from the one you're learning first before jumping. Okay. How do I build a good portfolio? Building a very good portfolio. It's very subjective. If you are, if at a very early stage, you know the industry you want to focus on at a very early stage, ideally I would say whatever pet project you are doing, whatever design you are doing, let it be centered around that industry you want to enter. So it's easier for you to enter. Because if I want to focus in my career as a fintech designer, designing fintech apps, when I'm learning how to design, my first onboarding screen, even if it's nonsense, to be a fintech onboarding screen. My first home UI will be a fintech home UI, right? So whatever I'm doing while I'm learning will be geared towards getting me into that industry. So if you know what you are doing and you know where you are going to, whatever portfolio you are building should focus on that industry. But building a very good portfolio is mostly about solving problems. First, you want to have 2 or 3 case studies. It doesn't have to be so much, 2 or 3 case studies. I think I have just 2 case studies and it has been working for me. You want to have 2 or 3 case studies that are actually solving valid problems. Then have a very good UI portfolio, because UI will attract them. It's the case study that will keep them. So have 2 or 3 good case studies, have a very good UI portfolio on Dribbble or Behance, and I think you are good to go. I use Notion for my case studies, then I use Dribbble for my UI. I used to use Behance, but I got very lazy updating both of them, so the Behance is just there. I'm hoping I answered that question. Oh yes, how do I cope with anxiety and frustration? Yeah, starting designer, you don't need to worry about clients much. When you're starting, I know there's hunger and you probably need to make cash as soon as possible. But as a starting designer, you need to focus more on learning or getting better as a designer. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're very good, you're extremely good at what you do, work will chase you. I'm talking about extremely good, work will chase you. So if you are very good, you will not even have to bother about clients. But at a starting stage, forget about the money first. It's important, right? But just focus on getting extremely good at what you're doing. If you're extremely good at what you're doing and you probably have a mentor like Kemi and you're extremely good, there's no way Kemi will see work and should not recommend you. Because most of the junior designers I used to know, now they are OGs, they were extremely good at what they do. And I'm very confident when I'm recommending them for work. So if I'm not confident that if I recommend you for a job, you're going to deliver, which means you are not as good as I want, there's no way I can recommend gigs for you. But if you are very good and you're a junior designer, work should not be difficult for you, right? It should not be difficult to find work. I'm saying this because it has been tested over and over again with my junior designers or my mentees. They were extremely good, and I'm always telling them, do this, post it on Twitter or help you retweet. I have at least 13K followers. I have at least 13K followers. So there's no way you won't get one person out of 13K that will be interested in what you're doing, right? It's very unlikely that you post something that is very good. There's some designs that are so sexy that even you as a designer, you want to hire the designer to work for you, right? Those are the kind of work you want to put out there. And if you feel your work is extremely sexy, talking about very good, if it's extremely sexy, post it on Twitter, shoot me a link. I help you do retweets. Most of my contacts are designers and founders, right? So they will definitely reach out to you. But if it's not extremely good in my eyes, I won't retweet. But if it's extremely good, I'll help you do a retweet. Okay, I'm running out of breath. Dritz, you hosted. But it's not very active. It's not. I sure it's not very active. I think that Web3 platform it's active. Okay, please. Okay, send me ways on how you think we can improve the channel on Discord. I work a lot, so I'm really not there much, but I'm always seeing messages pop up. People are making submissions. But if you think there are ways we can make the channel better, then please send me a message on Discord. To be a game designer, what skills do I need, especially being a newbie in the tech space? Be a very good UI designer and a very UX designer before you switch to game. Then when you've gotten very solid when it comes to UI, it comes to UX, well, then probably you want to design a game. You go to gameuidatabase.com for inspiration. Control C and Control V. If what you're looking for is not there, which is very unlikely, you go to interfaceingame.com. Right. If you don't see what you're looking for in either of these two places, it means you don't know what you're looking for yet. So, yeah, so that's for game designers. Let's see. Coming. Okay. Please, what's your Twitter? Okay, my Twitter is Dritz01. Dritz01. Oh, my Behance is useless, but you can find me on Dribble at dribble.com/Dritz01. You can find me on Dribble here. Ta-da! Yeah, it's a very messy portfolio. I do game, web, game. Okay, mobile, game. Yeah, so it's a very nonsense portfolio, but it has been getting me work, so I guess it works. Yeah, and that's my dribble. Okay, let's see. I'm getting jobs as a designer. It's not very easy if I'm being very realistic. Nobody wants to hire junior designers. They always want you to have 2 years experience. So it's not very easy. It's not very easy. But the main thing is not to give up. Because when the work starts coming, you get tired. But it's not very easy. But like I mentioned, if you are very good, right? Try and network as much as possible. Reach out to senior designers, show them your work. Some people are very happy to help. I'm very happy to help, but my very happy to help means I have a very long list of people I need to help. Right? But reach out to senior designers. If I see portfolio is very good, surely at the back of my mind, oh, I need to get this person work, or can this person do this for me, and I'll just pay them for my salary. But it's not very easy because there's no provision for junior design roles as much, right? So most times, see a junior design role, 2 years experience. How am I going to get 2 years experience when I'm just starting that designing? So ideally, you want to work on a little pet project, solve problems, have very solid case studies, reach out to some of these senior designers. Mudia recommended about 3-4 designers to me, and I've given them work in the past. Right? So if you are very good and you have a very stunning portfolio, work should not be that difficult. I'm a big fan of posting your work, but imposter syndrome may cripple you and may end up thinking, should I post, and you end up not posting your work. But posting your work, posting very solid work on Twitter would get a lot of leads that can lead to jobs or can lead to contracts. And if you're asking, I'm just starting, I probably have 10 followers on Twitter. I probably have 100 followers on Twitter. That's fine, right? You can post, like I said, if it's very stunning work, that work you see, you don't know when you're in with Twitter and you like it, right? That's the kind of work you'd want to put out there. So if you are putting out such work and you think when you post the work, it's sexy in your eyes, right? It's extremely sexy. You can reach out to me and I can also help you get more reach, right? My Twitter is basically just to help you guys get more work. That's why I'm always looking for more followers. Okay, yeah. So creative blog, yeah, creative blog. I just want to play games. There's nothing I can do about it. Before, when I have creative blog, I try and keep myself because I have deadlines to meet. Right now, I have a creative blog. I just send my boss a message that I have a blog and I'm taking a break from work. So I didn't even have creative blogs. I binge watch animes. I play games. For some reason, killing people in FPS games or slashing people in adventure games seems to do the trick for me. So I just look for a new game and play for like 4 or 5 hours. And when I get back to designing, it just starts flowing for me. But yeah, Blender, you can do a lot of things with it, right? You can design games, design most of the cartoon animations you see are usually done using Blender. You can design a lot of things with it. It just depends on, like I said, always follow your interest. When you're following your interest, you get more creative and you don't get bored. Right? So if you have a tailoring skill in real life, did I say real life? If you have a tailoring skill, you can bring that to design and choose to, oh, there's one design I saw. That design will be hard for me to see. Okay, give me a minute. It's one design I saw. I didn't know when I sent him a message. What's his name? Is it Priests? Yeah, this design I saw, I did not know when I sent him a message. The design was so good, right? Come in. This guy tweets a lot. What the hell? Okay, yeah, I saw this design. I like this design, right? I'm sure he probably has a tailoring skill, so it's very creative, or he's a big fan of comics, right? And I actually reached out to him just to comment, so I don't forget when I want to give him a contract to design a price like this, so he came I'm working on, right? So ideally, I would say whenever you're learning anything, follow your interest, so that way you get more creative and you don't get bored. Okay. Okay, share the link. I think I've shared most of the link. Twitter. Do I need a case study to learn an internship, bro? And I would say no, but I would say yes, because you need leverage to get work at an early stage. Even at a later stage, you need leverage. Like I like to think of applying for jobs. If everybody's applying with a UI role, with a UI portfolio, just triple. I want to go extra. I want to do a cover letter. I want to send a case study. I'm employing 4 people for an internship with me. Right. There's a guy I saw. He sent a very sweet case study, and the thing just appealed to me. So obviously I'm employing that guy first before I start looking at the other dribble portfolios that were sent. Right. So you need as much leverage as possible, which is why I'm always saying, even if it's just one case study, put it out there. If you have very good interactions, do more interactions. Just do things that will give you leverage over everybody in the job market. Right. So you need leverage. You need to gather as much leverage as possible. Oh, how do you become very good? It's a very tricky question, though. I'll say consistency and following your interest. I'm big on following your interest, but I'll say consistency, right? Because 2019, I was designing 10 hours every day. I had nothing I was doing with my time. I was just at home all day. So I was designing 10 hours every day. I usually track when I work. I was trying to do this and I'll spend hours doing it. But what I used to do for 10 hours, I can do it in an hour plus now. Right? I had a contract to design a full Web3 product, a website and an app. I did that in 5 hours this morning. Right? And that's because I've been designing 10 hours every day. So now I'm a very fast designer. So to become very good, follow your interests, be very consistent, and put in the work every day. When you put in your work, what you see what you are doing for, probably take 4 weeks or 2-3 weeks for you to get a portfolio ready or for you to design a full product. It gets to the point when they say we need this UI flow ready in 1 week. It's possible you are doing it in 2 days. Then the time I designed a full fintech product in Friday, Saturday, I did it in 2 days, a full fintech product, right? But the only way I could get to that stage of being very fast when it comes to design was putting in 10 hours, 16 hours when I have nothing to do with my life, putting in that time consistently every day, showing up, always talking about what I'm doing on Twitter, learning in public, get feedback, and go back and get better. Okay, so let's see. I think I'm answering most of the question. Do I have a LinkedIn? My LinkedIn is boring. Yes, I do have a LinkedIn, but it's boring. I'm not active there. Right. Is there any link that advertises? Oh, there's no link. Right. I haven't seen anyone. Yeah, I think my Discord is druids #7350 if I'm not wrong. Okay, yeah. What if my sexy work? No, my internship has closed. I won't have to start doing interviews very soon. What if sexy work to me as a designer is not sexy work with someone like your Hey, you ask them for feedback, right? You ask them for feedback. The only way you can get better and make the work sexier is to get feedback from these professionals or these senior designers. Ask for feedback, right? Be very specific when you're asking for feedback. But when people ask you for feedback and it's very generalized feedback, I'm very lazy. But if you say, how can I improve this? I'll probably reply immediately. Right? But if you just ask for feedback, it's very difficult for me to reply because I'm everywhere. Designers I look up to? Not really. I started out as a self-taught designer. So I don't know. I don't think there are designers I see there who can go, oh, that's so crazy. Because for me to have that expression or that aha moment, you have to do something I have not done, right? Or something I have to rack my brain and say, oh, how did you do this? But in terms of people I look up to, well, if you ask me for designers that I think are very good, I think Ozenwa is a very good designer when it comes to AR and VR, right? You can search that on Twitter. Mudia is a very good designer when it comes to type right? He knows how to get very sexy type and is big on layouts. Whereas if you are struggling with your typography and your design layout, Mudia should be the person you follow. And his Twitter handle is Mudia Emerson. Yes, this is Twitter handle, Emerson_design. But when it comes to type and layout, he's very good. When I'm struggling with what typography to use, I just reach out to him. If I need to do AR or VR design, I reach out to Zenua. Who do I look up to again? Then for motion, I look up to Rog. Yeah, so for motion. So yeah, so which designers I think are very good again? I don't know. Then there's Kemi. Kemi is always causing while on Twitter. So if you look for this, if I look for designers that like violence, then look up to Kemi. So let's see. Consistency. Give me consistency. The best is to learn at the beginning for me. I was mostly creating things I see, right? But I don't post them because that would be plagiarism. But I was mostly just creating them in my Figma file. That's how I started designing. Self-taught. What can you say about being self-taught? About being self-taught, I don't know. Personally, right from school days, when listening to a lecturer, I just find it faster to read the handouts, and I'm good. Right? So I learn better when I'm learning on my own at my own pace than following the pace of you talking on a YouTube video or whatever tutorial, right? I prefer reading and just consuming content at my own pace. There are times when I even put content or 2 or 3x just to get an idea of what you are doing. Right, so right from childhood, I've been self-taught mostly. When they're teaching in class, I'm usually just playing at the back seat. Then when I get home, memorize the textbook and go and write the test of the exam. So I read or learn better at my own pace, and I'm a big fan of reading. Which is why I see I have a lot of things highlighted here, right? Economics, 3D. So I'm a big fan of reading. And if you like reading like I do, you mostly want to be on Smashing. Oh shit. Yeah, sorry. You want to go to Smashing. They write a lot of very interesting design articles. Smashingmagazine.com. This is one I was reading. It's very comprehensive on how to start VR design. Right. If you're a big fan of reading, right? If you want to learn new things, say I want to learn, let's say web layouts. For example, I want to know what margin to use, how many columns to use. I'll just search web layouts. Then I'll add Medium, right? I like reading Medium articles. This is how I'm usually learning. I just search what I want to learn and I add Medium because, like I said, I consume better when I'm reading. Okay, do I look up to our starters? People I just mentioned, they don't post a lot of their work. Kemi doesn't post a lot of her work either. This is actually problematic. Most of the people I know that are very good, they don't post their work. Right? They're mostly just talking on Twitter. Anime. This one, they don't post their work. So I'm thinking, who is usually posting his or her work? I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't answer that question because most of the guys I know that are very good. See if I even go to Kemi's page now. Kemi doesn't post her work. Last time she posted her work was probably last year. They don't post their work. That is their problem. All of them. This is last year. This is even 2 years ago, Seth. That's what I'm saying. They don't post their work. So yeah, look up to me. Yeah, look up to me. So yeah, I think that's it. If there are no more questions, is Kemi still there? Hello,
Yes. So
I thought your laptop has gone off again.
I beg that. Don't remind me. All right. Thank you so much, good. Thank you for tonight. It's an amazing session, and really, I enjoyed everything. I mean, I've learned a lot as well, and I'm sure the students as well have learned a lot from your session. And please, guys, connect with him. His Twitter handle is at Jules01. You can actually search for him on IG as well. I don't know if he's on IG, but you can.
No. It's just Twitter. Any other Twitter and any other place. There's cobweb there.
All right, and also follow his portfolio, his Behance and Dribble portfolio, and you can always reach out to him if you need any assistance. Yeah, he's a blockchain designer. When I actually wanted to go into blockchain, I reached out to him. I told him, I said, I'm entering into the blockchain industry, right? So I think that was last year, mid last year, when I got my job as a blockchain designer. So being a blockchain designer, it's a lot. It's a lot. So you guys should not just jump. Don't jump. It's not something you can be eager, right? But don't think it's that easy. I mean, it is easy, but man, guys, it's something. So I'm sure you guys have learned a lot from today's session, and thank you for coming. It's nice to have you here, and yeah, please follow him, guys. Go on to his Twitter page, follow him, drop reviews,
I, I will
drop
drop my cash app in case you guys want to donate money to me.
I've been now. Make we do giveaway. Drop
Times are
reviews.
tough.
Drop reviews. I mean, I'm sure you guys learned something from him tonight. So it would be just nice. I mean, it would be nice to just say something nice about him on Twitter. That oh, thank you, Jude. Like, I mean, I can't compose the text for you guys, but just say something nice to him on Twitter. So that when next we need him, he can be eager to come, right? So thank you guys, and you all have a wonderful weekend and stay good. So Jude, thank you so much. I really appreciate your presence here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, guys.
Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's a pleasure. All right. Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.